What's up guys, Trey here with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're checking out the Jeep Licensed by Red Rock HD stubby front bumper with the LED Jeep logo backlit for the 2007 to 2018 Jeep Wrangler JKs. This bumper is a fantastic option for JK owners looking to add rugged protection, enhanced functionality, and that iconic Jeep branding to their vehicle. This bumper is going to deliver a mix of practicality and style. It features a stubby design, improving front end clearance for better approach angles, and making it ideal for rock climbing and other off-road activities. The integrated LED backlit Jeep logo adds a unique visual element, giving your Wrangler a distinct appearance both day and night. The bumper also includes a winch plate rated up to 12,000 pounds and these high-strength D-ring mounts, ensuring your Wrangler is ready for recovery operations. Also, it's going to come with these auxiliary light mounts for further customization with off-road lighting, enhancing nighttime visibility out there on the trail. This bumper is going to be constructed from heavy-duty steel plate and tube with black powder coat finish. So the bumper is built to withstand impacts, resist corrosion, ensuring long-lasting durability. The high-strength build and quality craftsmanship make it a reliable addition to your Jeep for both off-road adventures and everyday use. The built-in winch plate is rated up to 6 tons, and the D-rings, like we mentioned earlier, are rated at 9,500 pounds each for handling difficult recoveries and tough use. Now, as far as pricing goes on this bumper, it's coming in right around that $500 price range. So for a premium bumper with the LED lit Jeep logo, this is actually sitting at a very reasonable price point. Installing the bumper is going to be a straightforward bolt-on process that utilizes the factory mounting points. So on our difficulty meter, it's rated only a 1 out of 3 wrenches since no cutting or fabrication is going to be required, and the install can be completed in about 2 hours with basic tools. All the hardware you're going to need is going to be included right in the box along with detailed instructions. Now, let's see exactly how this goes on with an install video from one of our Extreme Terrain customers.
These are the tools I used today. Of course, here I have a small pry bar that I used to get some of those pins out. These were the 2 Allen wrenches that were supplied by the kit. I got a pair of wire cutters and wire strippers that I used during the wiring portion, both a flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver. I have a 1/2 inch ratchet with an extension, 1/4 inch ratchet with an extension, and 10 millimeter because 10 millimeter is used on every Jeep there is out there. 3/8 ratchet, and I ended up using a 16, 17, and 18 millimeter socket. I did find that the 16 millimeter socket worked a lot better when it came time to tighten those bolts that were the backside of the bumper. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull push pins. I don't have a push pin puller or pin puller, so I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. It looks like there's a total of 4 of them down here. Some of them will just come out no problem, but others need some persuasion. And what I'm removing is this splash guard, factory splash guard under here. There we go. Once again, just 2 push pins. One of them. If needed, so I get a little more leverage. And that's what I need right there. Now I'm going to try and unplug my fog lights. See where they go to. It's like right directly on back of the fog light itself. Where it unplugs. Of course, you want to be careful not to break these pins. So you have 2 of them right here. These are your outer bolts, and on the inside of the cross member you have 2 more. That's the same way on both sides. Start with the outside ones here. They are a bit snug, but keep in mind this is also the factory bolts that are on here, so they may be a little bit snug getting them off. And one of them loose. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave one of the nuts on here for each side on the outer, just to keep it from falling on me while I'm underneath getting the others off. So I've got an extension, 6-inch extension. Hopefully it'll give me what I need to get up in here. Yeah, it's almost perfect. There we go. That's the lower one of the interior. Okay, I got that side. Okay, that's the 4 interior ones. They were a little difficult to get to, but now the last 2. I gotta take that one nut off the other side that I put on there to keep it from falling on me. And there we go. What I didn't do is pull these clips off. I should have. Those were kind of hard to get to, so we can get them now. Like I said, you can use a small pry bar or maybe even a flathead screwdriver to pry these right out.
Just cutting them off?
Yeah, decided just to cut them a little easier. I can always replace them with new ones. All it is a piece that holds the zip tie that holds it. And there's that. This plastic piece here needs to come out. I made an attempt a little while ago, wasn't able to get it from the angle I was trying to get it from. So now I've got a larger pry bar. We're not putting this piece back in, so I've decided to pop it out like that. And there you go, you can see it just comes right off. Okay, so the next step is we're going to go ahead and swap out the fog lights, the fog light brackets, and put them on the new bumper. All we need is a Phillips head screwdriver. And we're going to undo the 4 screws in the back of each one. Get the bracket off. And we are going to be reusing these, so make sure you keep the pieces. And that's it. All light comes out, no problem with the bracket and everything. And that's simple. Next step we need to do is actually mount a bracket that comes with the bumper for the fog light. They sit in here like so. This bracket goes in. Just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount these brackets in and then put the fog light on. It comes with the hardware you need for each side, each bracket. I'm going to put one M4 bolt, one M4 washer, and one M4 lock washer, and that's what it looks like the set. I'll put the lock washer on first, then that, and then it came with a handy little Allen wrench to be able to do it all with. I'm not going to tighten either one of them all the way down quite yet because it has some play in there for adjustment. So I'm going to wait until I have my fog light in all the way to fully adjust it. You can see it still has a little bit of play. That'll allow me to line this all up just right. So now, using the exact same hardware, except now I'm going to add a nut that came with the kit. So the lock washer onto the bolt first, then your flat washer. Okay, so I'm going to put a lock washer and a flat washer. We're going to put that through the hole, and then a flat washer and our nut right here that came with the hardware. And it's on there, and I'm going to do all 4 corners the same way. Okay, now that I have those tight, I'm going to go back and actually tighten down my other hardware here that's on the bracket itself. Okay, now I'm going to repeat everything I just did on the next side. Okay, so now we're going to install the bar on the top here. And I've got my hardware together already. And it comes with a M10. We're going to use 3 M10 bolts, 6 washers, and 3 nuts per side. So that's all of it. What I have here is a socket, a 17mm socket to go on to the bottom side, and the Allen wrench that was provided. So I've got the hardware that came with it. They're an M10 bolt, M10 nuts and washers. You're going to need 3 bolts, 6 washers, and 3 nuts per side. You're also going to use the plates that came with it. These are going to go on the underside, and then these are insulated pieces to go onto the top side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is gently put this up here where I can put these on. These are adhesive. Try to match up to which holes need to come out. I can pull the adhesive piece off the back side, and then match it up. Put it, line it right up there, and put it right on. Now that you can kind of see where the bolts can still go through. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and line my holes up. I'm going to tilt my bumper down a little bit, make it a little easier. Line my holes up there. Get my first bolt with washer, flat washer. Right there. Plate goes underneath here. Make sure you line it up where the plate's supposed to go. Okay, there we go. It was a little difficult getting it started, but basically I ended up using 1 bolt, 1 washer on top, and then a washer and a lock washer with a nut on the bottom. And I'll go ahead and repeat that for the other holes here. Of course, I'm not tightening them down yet until I get everything in place. Jump to this side, go ahead and pull it up straight. Repeating the process of a bolt with a flat washer, and then on the underside here, flat washer, lock washer, and then nut. Bolt, flat washer, lock washer, nut, flat washer, lock washer, and the nut. Like I said on the fog lights, I don't like to tighten anything down until I have everything in place. Okay, now that I have everything on there, I'm going to use the Allen wrench that was provided and a ratchet with a 17-inch or 17mm socket. Get everything nice and tight. And then repeat the process for the side. And there we go. Fog lights in. Of course, this is with the old factory bumper that I had modified look like. Okay, so the next step is to do the wiring for the backlight. As you can remember, it's got the word Jeep across the front of the bumper, and now of course that has a backlight behind it. So I'm going to do the wiring for that. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your wiring harness. There's a lot of cord here, but I'll get into it in a little bit. And this is the portion you're going to actually take toward the battery. Bring it up like this and kind of fit it in there nice and neat. And of course, if you look at the battery terminals here, they have spots where you can actually add additional things to the Jeep here, any electrical. And I've got some zip ties that where I'm going to attach it down in there. This will do a couple of things. This keeps the wire at a later date from running anywhere it's not supposed to go. And it just kind of helps hold it kind of in place. As you can see, I'm putting some zip ties down in here on the wire that we're putting in when we're installing. Just going to put one right there for now, and the rest of it's going to get tucked down and around. I have an aftermarket intake there, so that's a little bit in the way, but it allows me to tuck it down in between there and get it down in there. And of course, now we're going to take this and we're going to run it. The end that connects to the backlight looks like this. As you can see, that's what's going to do. This is the connector for the light itself. We're going to route it down behind here, and of course, all the rest of this extra, we're going to roll up and zip tie, make it nice and neat up in there. It might even work best to take your front grill off here, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Make it a little easier to get to. And of course, I'm just going to pop these clips with a screwdriver. They come up nice and easy. Sometimes that washer part will come off, that's okay. You can easily put that right back there on there. Sit them aside, don't lose them. You can get more if you do lose them, but it takes time. Try not to break any of these because you definitely want to reuse them. And there's 6 total to hold your front grill on. Now from here, you can just pull onto the grill. It's got some other clips in there that just pop loose. There, just like that. It's that simple. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and reroute all of this wire that we're talking about. Make sure you've got the one with the correct end. It is an awful lot of it. It's best if you get it down behind your headlight and you can bring it down lower. Go ahead and pull it all through so I can see what I'm working with here. And when you read the instructions, it gives you multiple options for doing this. You can either run it this end all the way to your cab, and it gives it a push button, an off-one push button for your backlight. You can hook it up directly up to your fog lights and splice into your fog lights, and then that way every time you turn your fog lights, those lights will come on. Or you can run it and hook it up to your running lights, and that's the option I've chose. So in the evenings, anytime my running lights come on, I turn my headlights on or they come on automatically, that light will be on. There are some additional instructions for that. They want you to do a little bit of self-wiring. I don't need this piece, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it. And I'm going to go ahead and run this piece also down with my other piece, my other wire that's going all the way to the backlight itself. Go ahead and get it all down through there so that I have all my wiring together. You can see it this one here, right down to my lights there. So got that there. Back to the one that hooks up to the backlight, all down behind here. Trying to keep it away from my radiator as much as possible. It does have protective coating on it, but it is plastic, so you don't want it to get too hot. And like I said, it comes with zip ties. Make sure you use them. Okay, so I decided to pull this back through, and I'm trying to get it behind this piece that's right here to help protect it from the radiator or anything up here that's going to potentially get hot. And here we go, it'll come out right down here below it. You can see where it's easily coming out right down there. So I decided to go that route, just so it'll provide a little extra protection in the heat. So let's set this back up here temporarily. I'll try and wind this up. What I believe I'm going to do is actually put it down in this channel here and zip tie it all down, and it'll stay protected. I mean, I probably could just go ahead and cut it and re-splice all this in, but it's got some nice factory pieces down in there to where it's actually kind of glued in place, and so that means it's watertight, and I really don't want to mess with that. Take some of my zip ties and get it around this. So now this will sit down in this channel, and I'll take some additional zip ties and actually secure it down in there, like so. I'm able to get some longer zip ties, and what I'm going to do is actually thread them through the ends of these, through each eye right there. Go ahead and just thread it through. And then there's a hole down here in this back channel. And what I'm going to do is actually zip tie it this way, keeping that nice and neat down there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Do the exact same thing. There we go, and then I'll of course cut the excess off. And there we go. So now it sits down in there nice and neat. It's protected by that cross member. So now I'm going to bring this back down. At this point, we want to tie in to my light here. As you can see, it easily pops off a red and a black. This is what it recommended to do, is just cut this end off. Carefully, kind of just, you don't want to cut your wires on the inside there. There you go, you can see that. Trying to make sure I get it all back here kind of together. Okay, so I have these connectors for doing electrical wiring on a vehicle. And basically what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to hook my black up. I'm going to do it first. Don't need a really long one. So what it is you actually slide this, your new wire that you're trying to connect, you slide it in, and then your other wire, so you don't actually cut your old wire. As you can see right through there, slides right over. And then what this does, you push this down, the metal piece, and it creates that connection for you. And there we go. And then of course this piece slides over and clamps down to keep it all secure. Negative is connected to negative. And directions aren't real clear. It just says red wire to white wire with tan. I can identify the white wire with tan, but there's two red wires and there's nothing distinctive about the two. So I'm just going to try one, and then worst cases we'll come back and redo it. I've got extra of these connectors, so I'll be able to do that. Trying to make sure you have all your other wiring out of the way. There we go. And of course, if this is the wrong red wire, we'll go back and redo this one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my grill back together. So now we're gonna hook up our connectors to the respective sides where it needs to go. Of course, this is positive, this is negative. And I may have shorted myself a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that zip tie and pull a little bit of this back. Make sure you run it all up underneath here, nice and neat. Try to keep everything as neat as possible. The nice thing about Jeeps these days is they have terminals where you can actually hook this stuff up. So of course it's a 10 millimeter. That's simple. Connect your new one, the nut right back on. All you have to do is tighten it back down. That simple. Then we'll do the same thing on the negative. Back and get it exchanged for another one. Okay, I like to keep everything, like I said before, nice and neat. So we're gonna put everything back. Put my zip tie back on here. I had to pull a little extra out where I didn't leave myself enough. Go ahead and zip tie it back out of the way with some other wires that are already ran right there. And go ahead and cut my excess off. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna go ahead and put my grill back. Just snaps right into place, pretty simple. That simple, and I'll go ahead and put those tabs back in here in a few minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get the bumper up here and get it all connected. Make sure everything is working correctly. These are M10 bolts, washers, and nuts. On this bumper, two of your studs are already on for the interior, and then I'll thread these bolts through for the exterior of each side of the rail. I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of them ready before I lift the bumper up. Sit it here off to the side. The bumper is definitely heavier than the last one. It all slide almost right into place. Double check for fitment. Make sure it's fitting correctly. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the bolts. Got it sitting there so it'll at least keep the bumper in place for now. And I'll put one on the other side. Okay, got that in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that down a little bit. It's a 17mm socket. I'm not gonna tighten it on all the way until I have all my hardware on, but I wanna make sure it stays in place. Yeah, I got it on there. Still a little bit loose. There we go. But this will give us a chance to test it all. Okay, making sure I have it down in there really tight. And here we go. Let's go ahead and give it a test. Of course, what I'm doing now is I'm going to test it, make sure all my electrical is done correctly. We're going to make sure our fog lights turn on and the Jeep logo turns on. We know it's all working now. So with that said, I'm going to actually end up taping up all of it that I've done here. I'm going to get some electrical tape, tape all this up to keep it nice and protected. And then I'm going to take this other red wire and I'm going to fold it over, and I'm not going to cut it or anything. I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to tape it to the current red wire. That way it's there for future in case by chance I did make a mistake. Okay, so most people don't know this, but the trick to a electrical tape working correctly is you got to stretch it. As it stretches and you wrap it around, you don't have to stretch it a whole lot, but for whatever reason, electrical tape, as you stretch it and wrap it, it actually will tighten back down on itself. Something, of course, I learned, got a little bit of an electronics background, so something I learned in school. Nice trick. Then gets it in there, and now I'm going to wrap everything I've done right in here. Like I said before, I want to be able to protect my wires. The red wire that I used the first time and was not successful with, I folded it over. I don't know if that's easy to see or not, but folded it over, and I basically, you can see the other end of it, where I am wrapping it up in there. So it's not going to make contact with anything other than it's going to be kept there for in case there's a need for it in the future or anything like that. And there you go. You see how it now it's nice and tight. It actually goes, it shrinks right back down. It takes the form of whatever you're wrapping it in. The trick is just stretching electrical tape. That's it. So now we're going to go ahead, and now that we know all that works properly, we're going to put the grill back on like it's supposed to be. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our push pins back into place. It's real simple. Make sure you have that piece pulled out. Put it in. That simple, and it's done. You're going to do that for all 6. 1 on each side and 4 across the top here. Doesn't seem like much as far as holding your grill in place, but it does a really good job. And there we go. Now at this point, we're going to continue with attaching the bumper the rest of the way to the frame of the vehicle. We'll go ahead and finish getting my exterior bolts in place, since right now they're the easiest to get to. Now I don't want to go ahead and tighten these down too much, because you're going to remember there's 4 bolts on the inside. We've got all the hardware we need here for it. Flat washers, lock washers, and nuts. So we're going to go ahead and get underneath there and get all that, get those attached. Okay, so I'm going to put a flat washer on. You can see the bolts that are right here. They were the ones that were attached to the bumper already. And then I put a flat washer, lock washer, and then a nut. Get it started, and then do the one for the upper. Flat washer, lock washer, and then a nut. And then I could do the other side. Once again, I'm using a 17mm socket. Don't worry about that wire there. I'll get them all tucked up underneath there safely in that channel, and put some more zip ties in there to make sure it stays. Okay, that's inside one's there. Go ahead and grab the outside ones while I'm right here. So here's our finished product. I did go ahead and take some zip ties and put in there to help with some of the wiring, keep it down and protected. And here's the end result. Looks so much better.
All right, that's gonna wrap up our review and install of this Jeep licensed by Red Rock HD stubby front bumper with LED Jeep logo backlight for the 2007 to 2018 Wrangler JKs. And for all things Jeep, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.